What's up everyone, this is Marcus, your Asian tennis boy. It's been some time since I last posted, but this one is a special one. This is the first tournament that I played in almost 1 year and I managed to come out victorious. This was rated as a 3.5 tournament and it was held in Beijing. And while most cities have their own ratings, I think this is quite similar to USTA. So, what's the format like? The 8 players that sign up were split into 2 groups of 4, where they play a round robin, and thereafter the top 2 from each group will advance to the semi-finals and then the finals. Without further ado, let's get into the first match. So coming into this tournament, I was fresh off reading The Inner Game of Tennis by Brad Gilbert. One thing he shared was that whenever he won the coin toss, he would opt to receive instead of serving first. This was contrary to what I would usually do. I would usually pick to serve first, but he says that receiving first is better to calm your own nerves and get into a rhythm instead of having the burden to hold your serve in the opening game. I felt it was quite useful because all except once I managed to break my opponent in the opening game when I chose to receive first. And I think it was perhaps a mentality that I went into it because by opting to receive first, I knew that I was going to put pressure on my opponent. So perhaps I was more conscientious, I was more focused, and that translated into how I was executing my shots. With that said, I'm going to leave it to you guys to enjoy the highlights of each game. Just one note about the scoring format of this video, it will be the same as how you would report it when playing a match. So it would be starting with the server score first, followed by the returner. Let me know what you think about this scoring format. It's how I've been editing my recent videos, so I hope it's not too confusing. So, with game 1 in the bag, it's time to go to my second match of the group stage. A little preview is that the second match was quite different from the first. There were a lot of long rallies. There was also some pretty contentious calls and behavior from my opponent. I'm gonna leave it as that, and I leave you to be the judge. Your comments are welcome. So after all of that, I managed to get the W, and I told myself that if I could go through that, I could go through anything, I guess. But unfortunately, that was only the beginning. Stay tuned to find out more. But anyway, this is the third and final match of the group stage, and I went to it with a peace of mind, knowing that I won my past 2 games, which means I was guaranteed a place in the knockouts. So yay me, but I knew that I had to stay focused, and that was what I did approaching this final group stage match. So I managed to win all 3 of my group stage matches, and that means I topped my group, and I was going to face the second place of Group B. The second player I played also advanced into the knockout, so there was a chance for me to face him in the finals. But he was going against the player who topped Group B, and from his results and just observing from the side, he was a very good player. But even before thinking about the finals, I had one obstacle in my way, which is the semi-finals. And even though this player wasn't as technically proficient as the rest that I played, the balls that I received from him was also pretty challenging, as they lacked pace and really requires you to be patient and stick to your fundamentals. After quite a few sudden deaths, I managed to get over the line and I was into the finals. At this point, the other semi-finals hasn't even begun because they were waiting for the results of the final group stage match. So the winner of Group B came over and asked if I would like to rally and hit some balls with him, and I said okay. I guess it's to ensure that he doesn't cool down prematurely before his semi-final match. In case you're wondering, the final group stage match for Group A was between the first player and the second player. And I don't think it ended well because the first player who lost stormed out of the court after the game was over. And eventually the second player who I played in my group won the winner of Group B to set up a rematch in the final. This was the duration of the finals and it was a gruesome match. I started off feeling really tight, took a lot of risks which didn't pay off, hitting the net cord and into the net many times. Behavior-wise, it wasn't something too dissimilar from the group stage match, so I wasn't expecting anything less. But in terms of the tactics, this player actually became a super pusher. For me, I was also telling myself to stay consistent and not make a mistake, so we managed to have some pretty long moonball battles. This point lasted almost 4 minutes, so if you're keen to skip, just go to the next timestamp. I had a couple of breakpoint chances, but I think I was just too impatient and wasn't focused enough because I missed by pretty thin margins and wasn't able to convert any of my breakpoints, which led to my opponent holding his serve. I managed to play a couple of nice points, as you can see from these 2 points right here. Both of us managed to hold serve all the way, and we went to 3-all, which meant playing a tiebreak to 7 points. After taking a 2-love lead, my opponent managed to hit a really nice passing shot from the forecourt, and I think this was probably the defining point of the tiebreak here at 2-all. Whoever wins this point would gain the momentum to see them through till the end of the tiebreak. So after setting it up so well, I put that volley into the net court, and remember what I said about momentum? I was pretty proud that I was able to be patient to draw an error out of him from a long rally. And I think that shifted the momentum back into my favor. I was able to put pressure on him, and I felt like his spirits were dampened after that error that he made when he was leading 3-2. I was getting more vocal in my celebrations, and perhaps that intimidated him a little bit, but another unforced error meant that I was going to get my first championship point. And if what happened before wasn't enough, check out this dramatic ending.
Come on! 没有，刚刚是3-4，然后我测错了，3-4现在3-5。打完了。没有，刚刚是3-，没有，刚刚是3-4，对。刚刚3-4换成发球了，然后现在3-5。没有，我在这分。不是，因为你是3-3比3球之后。
你拿3比4。对，3比3。
刚刚3比3发完场，你让他赢了一分，然后
2分。
来，没事，我查一下。没事，来。
At this point, I was just so thankful that I managed to record the entire match because I had evidence to show him beyond any reasonable doubt. After reviewing the footage, my opponent congratulated me, but at that point it felt slightly anticlimactic. But regardless, I was enjoying the win and taking in every moment because this was the first time in my life that I won a tennis tournament. And my gosh, it felt so satisfying to come out on top. It was such a mental battle more than it was a physical one. And with all the drama that was happening, I'm just proud of how I handled it all. And I also want to say a big thank you to all of you who have stuck around until now. I hope I won't take too long to share the next video because 2 days later, I took part in another tournament in Beijing. It was also a 3.5 tournament. I can't wait to share that whole journey with you as well. Until then, this is Marcus, your Asian tennis boy, and I'll see you on the courts.